Well, this will blow your mind in a negative way, because every year about 1,500 women die from cervical cancer. Sadly, a simple screening just to enable health professionals detect the disease early and save their lives is just widely not available to all Ghanaian women. And statistics from the World Health Organization also show that some 90% of deaths from cervical cancer happen in low and middle income countries like ours. Ghana, as the world focuses on cervical cancer this month, Seth Kwame Boateng, award-winning journalist, in his latest documentary, Cervix in Crisis, takes us on a journey into the lives of some women dying of disease just because they always report their symptoms late. Here are excerpts of the documentary scheduled to air next Monday, 13th of January.
Women are the only target.
For all the cancers, in fact, the one that we should not even get is the cervical cancer, because it moves from one stage a long time before another stage. There's a long latency period before the cancer even occurs.
Cervical cancer humiliates its victims.
I never imagined cancer could cross my path one day. From what I am going through, I can tell you it is better to commit suicide. So you die fast than waiting for this cancer to hit you. It is a bad disease.
You look at our waiting area, we can accommodate about 100 people. But if a patient who has an offensive discharge, one of them is sitting there, you cannot. The whole place is offensive.
It eventually kills the unlucky ones.
We lose about 1,500 women to cervical cancer every year. There hasn't been any presidential inquiry or governmental inquiry into it. There has never been any white paper issued on it. But these are women who are dying silently.
It leaves families poor, shattered, and scattered.
I am afraid my wife will die, and I will not see her again.
But a little vigilance and early screening can spare our women all this hassle and pain.
For the cervical cancer patients, what I can say, if you see 100 of them, about 80 would have come in for an advanced stage. And by that I mean they come in at a time when they are no more curable.
It can kill you.
Here are stories of survival, pain, misery, and death. Deaths which could have been prevented.
Cervix in Crisis is premiering right here on the channel next Monday, 13th of January, 2020. Make sure you make a date. Moving on, also talking about another cancer, the president of Breast Care International says stigmatization of breast cancer victims is causing the death of most sufferers. Dr. Beatrice Wafiadai believes it is time people provide support to such patients to help them live normal lives.
At a breast cancer screening session at Tepa in the Ashanti region, Dr. Mrs. Wiafi also appealed to women to go for regular screening. She laments high mortality rate from cancer in Africa when the situation is improving elsewhere in the world is worrying.
So it's not surprising that we are also seeing a lot more cases these days. But mortality from breast cancer in the developed world has been reducing, and it has reduced drastically because they have certain things that they do. They perform the screening mammography for every woman. So when the woman turns 40, she is called on the phone or a letter is sent to her to go for her mammogram. If we are able to do this, it's going to help us a lot. But before then, we are advising our women to do their own breast self-examination.
Dr. Wiafi advocates community nurses be trained in breast cancer screening.
We are also suggesting that we retrain our community health nurses. They are already based in the communities. They do the immunization for the babies. We can retrain them in how to examine the breast, how to clinically screen the breast, so that they will go back to these women and examine their breasts for them. And when they find anything, then they will refer them to the treatment centers, which are normally in the cities. We don't want our women to be dying prematurely, and we also want our men to support their wives when they are diagnosed with breast cancer. They should also be looking out for lumps in their wife's breast or abnormal discharges, so that they will support them whilst going to the hospital.
Prevention is better than cure. So the idea of
Tepahene Nana Eduse Atwenewa Ampem commended the medical outreach team for the exercise, while encouraging men to also show interest in breast cancer campaign. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report for JoyNews.
Let's do some education-related stories. And there seems to be growing uncertainty among students of the Accra Technical University following the cancellation of scheduled end-of-semester examinations. This follows the Technical Teachers Association and the Senior Staff Association's decision to abandon work, protesting non-payment of allowances. The students say this situation is adversely affecting them. PSA Nana Yaosafo has more in the following report.
It might sound like a classroom or busy lecture hall, but the scholars are busy under a shed as all study rooms have been locked up. It is day 4 of an indefinite strike declared by TUTAG this week. The Senior Staff Association declared the strike of their own too. For the students, the protest is gradually crippling academic work.
I'm not on campus, I'm outside the campus, so therefore I have to take car in and out, wasting my transport and all those things. We really need the government to adhere to what they are looking for and just help us do it. But if we don't write the examination now, I don't know when we are going to write it again.
Classes are closed, so we don't have anywhere to learn aside from this place, and we are not comfortable with it. They said they will not be teaching, so, and there will not be a vigilation, meaning definitely no exam and no marking of scripts.
We're having a paper today. We are here and then we are stranded. We came and then there's nothing, not even, you can't even see the lectures around.
This will be the second time in a row students will be denied end of semester examinations, as the previous one, scheduled for December 2019, was postponed to this week. TUTAG chairman for the Accra Technical University, Dr. Ibrahim Subeiru, who spoke to JoyNews, said the situation was avoidable.
Why won't you pay based upon the data that is available and then write to request for data appropriately and then do it and make plus and minuses, because it happens a lot all the time. Somebody is overpaid, they do retronet and then correct it. What we are saying is that government must pay. The instructions that come from Minister of Finance to Controller, nobody should be impediment in the way of Controller in the payment.
SRC President of Accra Technical University, Safo Kwesi Kantanka, warned of a massive student demonstration dubbed Operation Desert Storm if the matter is not resolved within the shortest time.
We have plans that if, let's say, the government fails to intervene and then other internal factors that management are trying to do also, bears no fruit. SRC, in collaboration with our mother university, JNUT, we are planning alongside that what we did last year in terms of the intrinsic or the internal demonstration. This time around we'll be doing an external one, a massive one, and then it will be called Operation Desert Storm. With the students, we are also in a way involved. As I said, when 2 elephants goes to war, it is the ground that suffers.
It remains to be seen how the impasse is to be resolved within the coming days. As TUTAG, TUSAG, NCT, and other concerned bodies continue the long battle for agreed allowances and working conditions, the academic fate of close to 17,000 students hangs in the balance. From here at Accra Technical University, PSC Nana Yaosafo reports for JoyNews.
Now we're taking you to the Volta region, where residents of Have Ando number 1 in the Afajato South district are lamenting the lack of requisite logistics in the community-based school. This, they fear, could affect the education and training of their children. The community has since initiated a self-help project to furnish the community schools with an ICT laboratory to ensure pupils receive the necessary training to fit into the global space. And there's more in the following report.
Have Ando number 1 is a predominant farming community in the Afajato South district. A small portion of residents here also engage in kente weaving to support their livelihood. Education of the community's younger generation is paramount to elders. However, the provision of effective education is strengthened by the lack of requisite logistics at the community basic school. Due to this, the community resolved to raise funds through an annual festival to finance the construction of an ICT lab for the school. Togbe Vivant is the fear of Have Ando number 1. The Afajato South District Chief Executive, James Etonam Felulu, assured of the Assembly's support towards the realization of the community's goal.
ICT level vede, miape mobile phones over there, ICT tower where, miape computers over there, ta ICT lab mi miatula, Assembly akpere miao, anami, laptops, split computers, then you are confirming. So ICT center then already, miape miatu ho, miasi bewa. Ta hotel miatula, mela assembly nu. Mia anami 30 bags of cement. Then the car check alemiagbo, who have mia wanam, 4 years for the NPP government. 4 years to do more. Yes.
Nevertheless, community members are hopeful government, philanthropic organizations, and well-wishers would support them set up the ICT lab. Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Have Ando number 1.
And before we go, the chiefs, elders and people of Penlogo in the Nabdam district of the Upper East region have celebrated the annual Kur festival with a firm commitment to combat open defecation in the area. Last year, at the very first celebration of the festival, the chief of Penlogo, Nab Serik Sore Sobil, initiated a campaign against open defecation, especially at the Market Square. He therefore used this year's celebration of the Kur Festival to move forward with the campaign because he believes the problem of open defecation has not yet been resolved. Well, we'll bring you more from our correspondent, Albert Sorry.
The Kur Festival of the chief, elders and people of Pelungu is celebrated every year to mark the end of the farming season and to reflect and plan for the development of the area. This year's celebration was only the second in the series and was graced also by chiefs and elders from neighboring towns. The festival was characterized by the display of rich, diverse culture. The theme for the occasion was Ending Open Defecation for a Healthier, Prosperous Pelungu. According to the chief of Pelungu, Nab Serik Sor Sobil IV, the theme was maintained from last year because the initiative started at last year's celebration of the festival was still in progress, and the people decided that the cause had to be maintained until the goal was achieved.
Our market is one of the biggest markets in Upper East, and it's not proper that the traders, especially our women, cannot find a proper place of convenience, the NAPDAM District Assembly is doing its part by providing us a 12-seater water closet facility, which is still under construction. But this will not be enough for a market of that size. Our last year proceeds has not been misused. The little that we got, we organized ourselves to get the blocks done. We got 50 bags of cement, we bought sand, we bought water and other things to mold blocks, and the blocks are lying. We therefore thought that organizing this festival again, we'll be able to get our toilet facility that we have organized before.
He called on civil society organizations to consider starting various projects in Pelungu.
Issues of education, teenage pregnancy, early marriage, lack of access to clean water, and economic empowerment are still a major issue, a major problem. I therefore use this opportunity to invite civil society organizations and government agencies so that we'll put our heads together and see how we can organize ourselves to support Pelungu to get more development.
Member of Parliament for the NAPDAM constituency, Dr. Mark Ket Nawani, pledged his continuous support for the people of Pelungu. Funds were raised for the purpose of continuing with the Pelungu Market Toilet Facility project, which was started at last year's celebration of the festival. Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Pelungu, NAPDAM District.
Well, good commitment and a good initiative from the chief and people of Pelungu. But that's it for the latest news wrap-up. We have more news as we take a look at a few of the newspapers we have right here in the studio. Then, of course, we'll look at our own myjoyonline.com. Stay with us.